The hardest person I've ever had to forgive wasn't my best friend. It was myself. At 95 years old, memory becomes a strange companion. Some names disappear. Some faces become blurry, but regret never grows old. It remembers every promise you broke and every person you were too ashamed to face again. If you stay with me, I'll tell you how one knock on my nursing home door uncovered 41 years of silence. I thought I had lost my closest friend because of one terrible decision. I later discovered she had spent the rest of her life hoping I would come back. Her name was Ruth. We met in September of 1943, when we were both 12 years old. The first thing she ever said to me was, "You've got ink on your nose." I wiped my face. She laughed. "It wasn't there, I just wanted to know if you'd believe me." That became our friendship. She teased. I worried. She made me brave. I kept her grounded. People thought we were sisters because we were almost never apart. We graduated together, worked together at the town library for several years. When I married Thomas, Ruth stood beside me holding my bouquet before the ceremony. When her husband died at 49 from a heart attack, she slept in my guest room for nearly 3 months because she couldn't bear being alone. Some friendships are built over coffee. Ours was built over grief. Then I destroyed it. My husband became seriously ill in 1983. The medical bills arrived faster than we could pay them. Every week another envelope appeared. Another payment. Another reminder that illness can bankrupt a family before it breaks a heart. One afternoon, I opened my mailbox and found an envelope containing $5,000. No note, no signature. I knew immediately it had come from Ruth. She had recently sold a small piece of land she inherited from her parents. I drove straight to her house. "I can't accept this," I said. She smiled. "I wasn't asking." "I'll never repay you," she shrugged. "Then don't." I pushed the envelope back toward her. She pushed it back to me. We argued for nearly an hour. Finally, she looked at me with tears in her eyes. "Please let me help." My pride answered before my heart could. "I don't need charity." The word landed between us like broken glass. Charity. I watched the color disappear from her face. "I wasn't giving charity," she whispered. "I was loving my friend." I should have apologized immediately. Instead, I left. That single word followed me home, then into the following week, then the following year. I kept rehearsing an apology, but every month that passed made it harder. How do you explain waiting another 30 days, then another 12 months? Eventually, silence became easier than admitting I had been cruel. Thomas died 2 years later. I heard Ruth attended the funeral. She stood quietly in the back of the church. By the time I gathered the courage to look for her, she was gone. After that, neither of us reached out. At least that's what I believed. 41 years passed. I moved into a nursing home shortly after turning 93. Most afternoons, I sat beside the window reading books I had already read dozens of times. One Thursday, a young volunteer entered carrying a cart filled with puzzles. He looked at my name tag, then smiled. "You're Alina Brooks." "Yes. My grandmother talked about you all the time." I searched his face. "I'm sorry, I'm Michael." My grandmother was Ruth Collins. Everything inside me stopped. I gripped the arms of my chair. "Ruth," he nodded. "She passed away last winter." The words hurt, but not as much as what came next. "She always said you were her best friend." I stared at him. "She said that every birthday, every Christmas. Whenever someone asked about the people she loved." I shook my head. "We hadn't spoken in decades." He reached into his backpack. "I know. She wanted you to have this." It was a worn journal. Pressed inside the front cover was a tiny daisy. The same flower we'd picked together walking home from school when we were 13. I opened the first page. "If Alina ever reads this," my vision blurred. "Please tell her I never stopped missing her." I turned another page. There were entries spanning 40 years. Short notes, memories, questions she wished she could ask me. Every New Year's Day, she wrote the same sentence. "Maybe this will be the year she comes home." 41 entries, 41 hopes. Never once did she write an angry word. Only love, only patience, only waiting. I closed the journal and cried into hands that had grown old, carrying unnecessary shame. Michael sat quietly beside me. After several minutes, he spoke. "My grandmother kept one thing on her bookshelf her entire life." He reached into the bag again. A pressed daisy sealed inside a tiny glass frame. "We picked this together when we were kids," I whispered. He smiled. "She said it reminded her that real friendships don't disappear. They just wait." The following Saturday, Michael drove me to Ruth's grave. I placed the little daisy against her headstone. "I'm late," I whispered. "So very late." The wind carried away the words. Maybe she heard them, maybe she didn't. It didn't matter anymore. For the first time in 41 years, I had finally said them. People often believe broken friendships end with one terrible argument. Most don't. Most end because neither person makes the next phone call, then the next, until years quietly build walls that were never meant to exist. Today, Ruth's journal rests beside my bed. Whenever I begin thinking I've waited too long to tell someone I love them, I open any page. The message is always the same. Life shortens faster than pride. If there's someone you're missing today, don't wait for a perfect moment. Perfect moments rarely arrive. Ordinary Tuesdays do. Phone calls do. Letters do. Apologies do. At 95 years old, I finally understand that forgiveness isn't measured by how quickly someone says, "I'm sorry." It's measured by how long love refuses to let their place in your heart disappear. The pressed daisy is brown now. Fragile, almost weightless. Yet somehow, it still carries 41 years of friendship.